I might grab a bat, I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough.
All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack 2022 Fantasy Football Team Previews. We're going to be covering the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. With me doing this is Mike LaPlant. And let's jump right into things with the quarterback room led by Mr. Justin Herbert, Mr. QB2 last year.
I know.
You know, is he going to be able to repeat that performance? Probably sitting behind, as most expect, Josh Allen. But, could he beat out the Mahomes? And if Brady kind of has a repeat of last year, but I think a lot of people are expecting Lamar to have a bit of a bounce back with the rushing and things like that. Can he beat out all these guys again and finish QB2? Because if so, it looks like he's pretty much a bargain at draft time with these rankings right now.
Yeah, I can't see him obviously taking out Josh Allen, which is odd because obviously you don't get QB1s to repeat very often, and Josh Allen is probably going to do it again. But if there's a guy to take that number 2 spot over Patrick Mahomes, this is the guy I think who could do it. The way that offense rolls with Brandon Staley, they are balls to the wall every play, every down. So many fourth down conversions can convert to touchdowns, and so many fourth down conversions lead to extended drives, which lead to touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And we know that Justin Herbert, he regressed a little bit last year with his rushing attempts, but he still rushes the ball. And, as we'll touch base in when we get to the running backs, he likes to throw the ball in the red zone to the running backs.
Yes, he does.
Which does benefit both running backs and the quarterback.
Yes, he does. It's very interesting to see, the fact that, yes, he runs the ball a fair amount, right? He had 302 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Not like a Lamar, right? Yeah. But it's enough to supplement, right? But this team also passes a ton.
So much.
I think they were 3rd in pass attempts last year. Third. They were one behind the Chiefs, 674, and then their rushing was almost identical too, which is hilarious. The Chargers were 22nd at 423, and the Chiefs were 431. So both him and Mahomes, right? Just the pure volume that they have of passing is going to keep them up there. To where they can outscore the likes of a Lamar more consistently because of the pure volume that they get. Because their offenses are really good. So I really do like Herbert. In this 4th, 5th roundish range where he's falling, if the draft falls to me the right way, it's probably the first quarterback I'll snag. I still will mostly wait in the vast majority of leagues, but Herbert is a guy that I really like, and I still think he's a really good offense, and with a super pass catching back that we should get to here next.
Absolutely.
Austin Ekeler, overall 4, running back 4, Isaiah Spiller, Joshua Kelly, Larry Roundtree, and Xander Horvath. Yeah, I just wanted to say Xander. So Austin Ekeler, right, finished, I believe he was RB2 last year, right?
RB2, you are correct.
QB2, RB2, man. That's quite a duo there. We still know, injuries are a thing with him. He was banged up a couple times last year. I believe he missed at least 1 game, if not 2.
Yep, just one. He was probably banged up
he just in years past, it's been more than that, and that's really what has hurt his value. He ran for the first time ever in his career over 200 carries, but still just catches a tremendous amount of balls. Caught 70, I believe he had 94 or 92 targets. I like the way you worded
that one.
It's just, he's so good. Now the thing you got to worry about him, right, is touchdowns really carried his value. He had a total of 20. So are we overdrafting him this year, knowing that he's not scoring 20 touchdowns again? You cannot predict that.
So you're right. Touchdowns, absolutely hardest thing to predict in fantasy football. No question about it. Now, here's the thing, though. He kind of reminds me of Alvin Kamara when he was coming into his prime.
Yeah.
The way he attacks it. Obviously, he's not the volume guy like a Derrick Henry, like a Jonathan Taylor, but he's super efficient with all of his touches that he gets. Every target he gets, and they're valuable touches too. They're red zone targets. They're red zone carries. That's what kind of, like you said, carried his value. But the thing is we do predict this to be a great offense. They got a great quarterback, like we said, who likes to throw the ball in the red zone to the running back. So would it shock me if he had another 20 touchdown season? It wouldn't. Honestly, it wouldn't. But am I going to chase that? No, because this year, like you said, to answer your question, he is being a little bit overdrafted for his value, mainly because of all the running back injuries last year. That definitely helped boost his RB2 finish. But with that being said, when you have a talent like that on an offense that good, it wouldn't surprise me if we have possibly another Aaron Jones on our hands. Remember all that? Remember the Aaron Jones breakout? Nobody's like, oh, he's not going to get 19 touchdowns again. What did he do? He got 19, 18 touchdowns?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that. Hey, you want to know, I want you to guess, how many of Ekeler's touchdowns were inside the red zone last year? Out of 20, how many were in there?
I would probably say maybe at least half. He's not a big play guy.
20.
Yeah,
all 20 of his touchdowns were inside. That's an F. All 20 of his touchdowns were inside the 20-yard line. That means he never broke the big play.
But that's what we were saying. Those are those valuable touches.
Yes.
That's what we look for because, nowadays, running back committees, everybody's, he's the red zone back. We got to get him the ball inside the 10-yard line. That's Austin Ekeler. Oh, he's the passing back guy. We need to get him in a third down situation. That's Austin Ekeler. Yep. So he seems to be the number one guy, the one who gets the valuable touches, as long as the only thing he's battling against is health.
Yep, absolutely. So
let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, so let's jump over here to the receivers. And Keenan Allen, wide receiver 35, wide receiver 14. Mike Williams, who had himself a good 5-week stretch to start the season, 61 and 22. Josh Palmer, Jalen Guyton, Jason Moore, and DeAndre Carter rounding out that room there. So, look, we start with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. That's really where the focal point is for these two receivers, or for the receivers on this team. And Keenan Allen to me is kind of this safe floor, not low ceiling, but lower ceiling than the guys going around him, in my opinion, in drafts. But his floor is so much higher because of the target share he gets, and he catches like everything that goes his way. So,
it's a vacuum.
Are you comfortable taking him at this price point?
No, honestly, only because if I'm walking away with my draft as Keenan Allen as my wide receiver 1, I'm not ecstatic because just like you said, when you're drafting that wide receiver 1, you want that ceiling along with the floor. His ceiling is just not there because he does not break long touchdowns, and for some reason he doesn't get targeted in the red zone.
Yeah, not really.
But
he did see 7. He caught 17 and did catch 6 touchdowns inside the red zone last year. But those were all 6 of his touchdowns. But I mean, like, you would think the wide receiver 1 would catch more touchdowns in the red zone than the running back, and it didn't happen.
I think it was just the little tidbit from the Bengals video. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it like Jamar Chase had like 18 or 17 red zone targets and 18 touchdowns
inside the red zone?
No, so he had 17 red zone targets, but 18 total touchdowns.
He had
or something like
Well, yeah, so he had 10 receptions inside the red zone, caught 5.
But 11 total touchdowns. There we go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he
was
big. He was big play all the way for him
in that wide receiver one. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So his ADP right now, Keenan Allen is sitting there right around 11. So it's actually higher than the ranking. So I'm out. No thanks. And I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, I'd rather have obviously CeeDee Lamb's going ahead of him. I'd rather have Mike Evans, especially with a banged up Chris Godwin right now. Deontay Johnson, I might take a stab at earlier. I still like T. Higgins.
That one's
better.
a good debate. I would debate you Deontay Johnson all day for Keenan Allen. That is it. They can go either way. Flip of a coin.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of guys there, but even so, right? You don't have to pay up for Keenan Allen. I'm fine taking Terry McLaurin a whole round later, right? Guys like that, right? So that's just the thing. So I'm kind of out on that. But let's shift over here to Mike Williams. 30 seconds, real quick. Your take on Mike Williams and his amazing start to the season, and then he just kind of vanished again.
I'll probably be finding myself with a lot more Mike Williams shares than I'll have Keenan Allen shares, mainly because of that ADP value. Also, it's another year of chemistry with Justin Herbert. I know he's been inconsistent, but I mean, when it comes to snap shares, who's out there on the field, it's Keenan Allen and Mike Williams majority of the time. 75% of the time, it's those two. At least Mike Williams. Keenan Allen's getting the 81%, but other than that, it drops to 51% for Jalen Guyton.
Oh yeah, it's a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2 punch for sure.
You want them to be on the field, and that's a step in the right direction.
You just need Mike Williams to run the route tree that he had early on in the season, and not just, hey, you know what? All that good stuff that was working before, throw that out the window. We're just go long.
I really want to know,
silly.
Is that on Mike Williams? Maybe he got a little lazy. Maybe, he didn't want to do it anymore. Or was that on the coaching staff that just said, you know what, we can't do this anymore?
There was people that were tweeting about it left and right, like his route tree completely changed after week 5. It was nuts. No idea why. But finishing off here, tight ends. New room here again. Gerald Everett shows up. Donald Parham is there. The tight end room's been pretty good mostly for this, for the Chargers for a long time. Can Gerald Everett be a guy that we can trust way more than tight end 24 per se?
Well, I'll get it out of the way. He's no Antonio Gates.
Of course.
But I mean, if you're looking for, a stab late in your draft for one of these high ceiling tight ends possibly, this is your guy, because you look for these tight ends on good offenses.
Yep.
Justin Herbert threw 38 touchdowns last year, I believe, and we just talked about it. 6 of them were Keenan Allen. He's got to be throwing these touchdowns to somebody. If 6 were to Keenan Allen, 8 were to Austin Ekeler, that's 14. That still leaves 24 more. And I'll tell you what, Mike Williams didn't have 24 touchdowns.
He caught 9. But yeah. I mean, Cook caught 4 last year, 564 yards. Everett is, Cook's 55 years old. I mean, come on. He's got to be better than Jared Cook. But, he'll be a DFS guy. He'll be a streamer, a bye week fill in for now. Maybe he breaks out, but I'm not buying it at draft time. But all right, man. Well, that's it for the Los Angeles Chargers. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, the like button, leave those comments. We appreciate it, and make sure you check out the rest of our team previews. See ya.